my presentation, I want to talk about life. Life is a very simple equation. It has 3 steps. First, you're born, then you live, then you die. It is a very simple equation. But when you get into the specifics of what each of those 3 mean, it gets a little more complicated. Step 1, you're born. There's not a whole lot that you can do to control that. That was a decision your parents made approximately 9 months prior. Then step 2, you live your life. Step 3, you die. Again, there's not a lot you have to that can control that. When everybody one day is going to die. That's just part of life. But when it happens, how, when, and where don't really matter because you're dead. It doesn't really matter to you anymore. But it's step 2. It's the step in the middle that's the most important, living your life. That is the only thing that I have control over is how I live my life. Growing up, you're given tools to survive life as an adult. You're taught how to walk, how to talk, how to dream, how to love, how to play sports. You have high school education, college education, and life experience. Those are all tools that you have to grow up with. And then you're forced to go live life. And so with my very limited toolbox, as a kid, I went to live life. And so I played baseball, and I used to catch. And I didn't let anything pass me, just to let you know. I was Stonewall. And then I also participated in a program called 4-H, which is a program for young kids up to the age of 19 that teaches them all kinds of different things like rocketry. You can do cooking contests, public speaking contests, and you can even raise livestock. It's a very cool program. And then the next step for my family when I was 12 was for us to go to China. We spent 3 weeks in the middle of nowhere in China. And then we decided it was time to come home. And on the way home, about 2 days before we left, is when my legs started to malfunction. And I started complaining that my legs were tired, that they started to hurt. And then we went to the mountain, and Dad told me I was a wuss. And then we the next step was we were staying on an island near Hong Kong called Macau, or Macau, depending on how you want to pronounce it. And to get to the island, you take a jet ferry. And as we were boarding the ferry, it's just a plank. And so the ferry's floating, and the plank is out there, and it's just bouncing, which is no problem for most people. And that's when I collapsed and almost fell into the water. And that's when I knew something was wrong. My parents assumed that I was dehydrated, and they tried to drown me on the way home. Here, drink this. Okay. Drink some more. Okay. Drink some more. Okay. It was a very long, watery, dry flight home. So we get home to the U.S., thank God, and the water didn't seem to help. And so we go to the hospital. We went to 3 different emergency rooms, and they gave us 3 different answers. First one agreed with my parents that I was dehydrated. Again, I almost drowned. Then the second one told me that I was overtired, that we walked a lot in China. And my favorite, the third one, he came in and he said, well, the good news is it's not Guillain-Barré syndrome. It's nothing severe, so go see your pediatrician. So the next day on a walker, a 12-year-old kid using a walker, goes into the pediatrician. I was in his office less than 20 minutes, and he sent me to ICU. And guess what? I had Guillain-Barré syndrome. Now some of those tools that I was given as a kid are broken or the batteries are dead. So like with baseball, like I said, I caught. And there is no way that I would be able to crouch down behind a plate. Well, I might be able to get down there, but there's no way I'm getting up. That tool was stolen out of my toolbox. toolbox, but there I had to find a new tool to do things with. So what I want to ask everybody real quick. I want you to think, what is the purpose of specifically, what's the you're here? You suppose I heard life is like empty. Paint a scene on it. Well, so life is like a vacant lot, and it's our job to build a house and a home on that lot. Our home can be anything we want, and it's going to be in the neighborhood around us, which is the people that we hold close. Our neighborhood can be any of the neighbors that we choose. If we don't like somebody, they're not in our neighborhood anymore. So as a kid, you draw your blueprints. Young kids, I'm going to be a superhero or a ninja. As you get older, you change those. Well, at the age of 12, I was still going to be a professional athlete. And then that's when, now that you have your blueprints drawn and you start construction, that is when life throws you a curve. Well, the condition's called Guillain-Barré syndrome. How old is that? Nobody really knows, but this is what they say helps, and after treatment, you should be 100% back to normal. Great. Hook me up. So this is what it's like to be 100% back to normal. It sure doesn't feel normal, but back to life. They say I'm fine, so let's go back to life. So for my analogy, the purpose of my life for the presentation is to take these two pieces of wood and put them together. It's a pretty simple goal. And I have my tools that I was given as a kid to put them together. So let's see what I have that can put these pieces of wood together. I have a drill. Oh wait, Guillain-Barré is at my nervous system, which means this drill no longer has its battery. It doesn't really have any use anymore. Let's see what else we got. I have a hammer. Cool, a hammer. So let's just take this, set the wood there. We've got a nail. Stick the nail in the wood, and away we go. That hammer wasn't very strong. Kind of like my muscles now. No use. Let's see what else we got. I have glue. We can use glue to put them together. So let's see. We got the glue, and well, that glue's expired. Kind of like me, with no energy. But I've got two tools in here that I know won't break. You know how there's some guys that name their biceps? I have thunder and lightning. Well, I name my clamps. I have grit and determination. They're the only tools that nobody's ever going to steal from me. And if I just tighten these up here and here, the wood is together through sheer grit and determination. That's the only tool nobody can ever take from us, is our grit and determination. So, like I said, my goal was to be a professional athlete, and that's not exactly going to happen now. But just because that tool was stolen out of my toolbox doesn't mean I don't have another tool in there that can get me a career in professional sports. I can coach, I can do play-by-play, I can umpire, or I could even design the uniforms, sell tickets. I can do something that has a career in professional sports if that's what I wanted to do. And that brings me to the word disabled. Disabled is a big and scary word if you don't know what it means. Disabled is a two-parted word. Disabled. That means not able. That is a specific word. That means that it is not able to do something specific, not unable to do anything. Just because there's one tool missing or two tools missing or all but one tool missing doesn't mean there's not another tool in there. Now remember, this is a two-part equation. You have Guillain-Barré, and then you have me. And Guillain-Barré invaded my life. So Guillain-Barré did me with the tools, and now with the Guillain-Barré, they released me. They said I was fine, which I take to mean that the fire's out. And that's great. The fire's out, and now all the firefighters have gone home. And they left me to reseed my field, deal with the flooding, the erosion, and relocate the bear that moved into my backyard. That's my job, alone, without any help. The fire was big, hot, and scary, and it demanded attention. And that hot fire is now out, and I seem to have been left out in the cold. The trees aren't even cold yet, and I'm supposed to be 100%? Yeah, that makes total sense. So in my life, Guillain-Barré has taken my body and the strength that's in it. But the tool it has given me to be able to connect and relate to others is now my favorite and go-to tool. I've given up on the pro baseball player, and I've moved on to the motivational speaker. I'm using Guillain-Barré as my tool, not my limitation. And my question is there something that you can use it to do?